So, Swayambhuva Manu has come to Kardamuni with his daughter and his wife. They were all seated on the chariot and they came to Kardamuni's ashram. When Kardamuni was doing some yagna, and it's described how beautiful he was, how handsome looking he was. He was like an unpolished gem because he was wearing rags, he was dressed not very opulently, but inside his glow was there. So he was like an unpolished gem. So now, what does Swayambhuva Manu and Kardamuni, what is the conversation that happens? Seeing that the monarch had come to his hermitage and was bowing before him, the sage greeted him with benediction and received him with due honor. So the sage, of course, the sage already knew about Swayambhuva Manu's coming. On the same day he came, the day he got the darshan of Vishnu, the same day Swayambhuva Manu came. And he already knew about it because Vishnu had told him that this is what is going to happen. Emperor Swayambhuva Manu was not only approached the cottage of dried leaves possessed by the hermit Kardama, but also offered respectful obeisances unto him. Similarly, it was the duty of the hermit to offer blessings to kings who used to approach his hermitage in the jungle. So both offered respects to each other. No, he offered blessings. The Kardamuni offered blessings and Swayambhuva Manu offered respects. After receiving the sage's attention, the king sat down and was silent. Recalling the instructions of the Lord, Kardama then spoke to the king as follows, delighting him with his sweet accents. The tour you have undertaken, O Lord, is surely intended to protect the virtuous and kill the demons. Since you embodied the protecting energy of Sri Hari. So he greeted Swayambhuva Manu with sweet words, praising him that you are traveling to kill the demons and protect the virtuous. Because you are representing, the king is representative of Hari. So Hari is also doing the same thing, Paritranaya Sadhunam, which Prabhupada will say in the purport. It appears from many Vedic literatures, especially histories like Srimad Bhagavatam and the Puranas, that the pious kings of old used to tour their kingdoms in order to give protection to the pious citizens and to chastise or kill the empires. Sometimes they used to kill animals in the forest to practice the killing art because without such practice, they would not be able to kill the undesirable elements. Kshatriyas are allowed to commit violence in that way because violence for good purpose is a part of their duty. Yeah, so killing animals is not good, but they used to do that. They used to fight with the animal, or so that they can keep their skills intact. They can be in the proper shape when enemies attack, and it was part of their duty. So here two terms are clearly mentioned: vadhaya for the purpose of killing, and asatam, those who are undesirable. The protecting energy of the king is supposed to be the energy of the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 4.8, the Lord says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam. The Lord descends to give protection to the pious and to kill the demons. The potency, therefore, to give protection to the pious and kill the demons or undesirables is directly an energy from the Supreme Lord. And the king or chief executive of the state is supposed to possess such energy. In this age, it is very difficult to find such a head of state who is expert in killing the undesirables. Modern heads of state sit very nicely in their palaces and try without reason to kill innocent persons. Okay, so Parikshit Maharaj he took his sword out and he was willing to kill that person who was killing the cow or injuring the cow. So a king would take action if dharma is not being followed, and in this way he would curb the antisocial elements. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. But now it's all, everything is going on. It's legal. Cow slaughter is legal. cow eating is legal. All the four principles sometimes they're legalized. So okay. Any comments anybody has on this? So they would also kill the animals to keep the. What was the other reason? What's it supposed to? Huh? Kshatriya, Kshatriya. To keep the animal free from wild animals, so that sage is good. Hmm. Sages go in the forest to meditate, so they have to like be protected. So sometimes the Kshatriyas would also help that. Of course, killing is not, I mean, very difficult to do. But Kshatriyas have to see blood, right? I mean, you can't. I mean, for an ordinary person to see blood and everything may be very difficult. But Kshatriyas have to become like that because they have to. Violence is necessary, as Prabhupada says, for maintaining law and order. So you have to kill those antisocial elements who are disturbing everybody else. And sometimes they will not, I mean, you cannot persuade the antisocial elements by arguments and reasoning. So there is the only way left is to kill them. So, of course, in this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uh, kills the demons by giving the holy name. Okay. Mm. Asuras are also those who are opposed to Vishnu. Vishnu's uh, supremacy. Yeah, correct. They are called Asuras. There is a verse like that. Deva and Asura, right? Those who are opposed. Vipariyate or something. Vipariyayo. So we are also Asuras, we should think, because we have come to this material world in defiance to the Lord. So otherwise, we won't be here in this material world. Anybody who goes to the prison has kind of, disobeyed the government's law. Of course, in today's world, prisoners are also put wrongly there. But those who have come to this material world, Prabhupada says, our body, this material body, is a sign of rebellion to the Lord. It's a, what is it called? It is the prisoner's clothing, just like they have a uniform in the prison. So, this material body, the very fact that we have this material body, Bhava Mahaprabhu said, if I had love for Krishna, then why would I be still alive? Yesterday also we were hearing in the Brahma Gita that in the Viraha, gopis were thinking, well, we should have given up our bodies because our prem is nishkapat. So how can we live? But we are living. So of course gopis are pure. So like that, this material body is our sign of rebellion against the Lord. So everybody in this material world is kind of an asura, you could say, in one sense, except the pure devotees, of course, are those. So, yeah. Mm. Killed us. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Prabhupada said to kill the demons is not a big thing. Any material nature can kill, but he comes mainly. And to deliver the devotees, also they are delivered because they are chanting the holy name and they are doing devotional service. But Krishna comes mainly to give pleasure because the devotees want to see the Lord in person. So he says, I think in the teachings of Queen Kunti, there's a lecture by Prabhupada where he says this. Okay, yeah, right. Correct. Mhm. That's true. Yes. Okay. Um, yeah. Mm. 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 Yeah, sometimes he takes, like here, Kapila Devi is going to take birth in that family. And yeah, there's also Chaitanya, Vaman Dev. Correct, correct. Kashyap and Aditi. Okay. Uh, and sometimes he doesn't have a mother and father like Narsingha Dev. He just comes. So you assume when necessary the part of sun god, the moon god, Agni, the god of fire, Indra, the lord of paradise, Vayu, the wind god, Yama, the god of punishment, Dharma, the god of piety, and Varuna, the god of presiding over the waters. All obeisances to you, who are none other than Lord Vishnu. Since the sage Kardam was a Brahmana and Swambhuva was a Kshatriya, the sage was not supposed to offer obeisances to the king because socially his position was greater than the king's. But he offered his obeisances to Swambhuva Manu because, as Manu, king and emperor, he was a representative of the Supreme Lord. So, the Supreme Lord is always worshipable, regardless of whether one is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, or a Shudra. As the representative of the Supreme Lord, the king deserved respectful obeisances from everyone. Okay, so sannyasi is not supposed to offer obeisances if somebody, because he is on the highest platform, or Brahmana is not supposed to offer obeisances like that. It's not obliged. He may offer obeisances out of his own. But here, because King, Prabhupada is saying King represents the representative of the Supreme Lord, so Swayambhu Manu, so Kardam Muni offered obeisances to Swayambhu Manu. Okay. And, hmm. I mean, in the sense that he's the representative of, like, Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastre. So, he's one of the Mahajans actually, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapilo Manu. So, Swayambhu Manu, that is one of the, I mean, he's pure. No, the Manu, no, Swayambhuva is Brahma, the Manu that later, Kumara Kapilo Manu, that Manu, yeah, that Manu represents Swayambhuva. Yeah, I also get confused between that, but the Swayambhuva, first Swayambhuva is not Swayambhuva Manu, it's the one who is Brahma actually, one who manifested out of Vishnu's without any help of any mother. Is just like correct. Okay, so yeah, none other than Lord Vishnu. Yeah, it seems like he's saying you are God Himself. But then Prabhupada clarifies that he's not God himself, but he's the representative of God. Okay, so that's how. If you did not mount or your victorious jeweled chariot, whose mere presence threatens culprits, if you did not produce fierce sounds by the twanging of your bow, and if you did not roam about the world like the brilliant sun, leading a huge army whose trampling feet caused the globe of the earth to tremble, then all the moral laws governing the varnas and ashrams created by the Lord Himself would be broken by the rogues and rascals. So he's saying you are so powerful, that's why you are able to maintain law and order. If you didn't go around in your chariot and didn't have these armies, then okay. So he's praising basically. It is a duty of the responsible king to protect the social and spiritual orders in human society. The spiritual orders are divided into 4 ashrams: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. And the social orders, according to work and qualifications, are made up of the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras. So occupation is based on what you like to do, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and then there is ashram based on your conditioning. Like both are like varna, your occupation and which ashram you are situated in. These social orders, according to the so they say for Shudras it is only Grihastha ashram. For the Brahmanas they can go up to the Sannyas ashram. Kshatriyas go up till the Vanaprastha ashram. So like that there is something like that. These social orders, according to the different grades of work and qualification, are described in Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, for want of proper protection by responsible kings, the system of social and spiritual orders has now become a hereditary caste system. But this is not the actual system. Human society means that society which is making progress towards spiritual realization. So Chatur Varnam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha, not Janma, Prabhupada is saying. The most advanced human society was known as Arya. Arya refers to those who are advancing. So the question is, which society is advancing? Advancement does not mean creating material necessities, unnecessarily, and thus wasting human energy in aggravation over so-called material comforts, which is right now in the modern day world. Everybody, so many industries are producing so many goods and all for material comfort. Prabhupada is saying this doesn't mean advancement, creating more and more, necessities for material comforts. Real advancement is advancement towards spiritual realization. And the community which acted towards this end was known as the Aryan civilization. Means how to get out of the cycle of birth and death. Who is thinking like that now? That we have to get out of this cycle of birth and death. So, the intelligent men, the Brahmanas, as exemplified by Kardama Muni, were engaged in advancing the spiritual cause. So Brahmanas, they will propagate spiritual teachings. And Kshatriyas like Emperor Swayambhuva used to rule the country and ensure that all facilities for spiritual realization were nicely provided. It is the duty of the king to travel all over the country and see that everything is in order. Indian civilization on the basis of the 4 varnas and ashrams deteriorated because of her dependency on foreigners or those who did not follow the civilization of varnashram. Thus, the varnashram system has now been degraded into the caste system. Prabhupada always writes so much about varnashram because he wanted to establish this kind of. The institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams is confirmed herewith to be Bhagavad Rachita, which means designed by the Supreme Personality of God. Maya Shrishtam, Krishna says it is designed by me. Shrishti means creation, and Maya by me, these 4 varnas. In Bhagavad Gita, this is also confirmed, Chatur Varnam Maya Shrishtam. The Lord says the institution of 4 varnas and 4 ashrams is created by me. Anything created by the Lord cannot be closed or covered. The divisions of varnas and ashrams will continue to exist, either in their original form or in degraded form. But because they are created by the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they cannot be extinguished. They are like the sun, a creation of God, and therefore will remain. So whatever the Lord has said is going to remain, Prabhupada said. So whatever prediction also we say, Prithiviti ache yato nagaradi gram, sarvatra prachar hoibe mora nam. That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that my name will be chanted in every town and village. So that will come to to be true, because whatever the Lord has ordained and whatever He has decided, that cannot go in vain. So it's happening right now. Either covered by clouds or in clear sky, the sun will continue to exist. Similarly, when the Varnashram system becomes degraded, it appears as a hereditary caste system, but in every society there is an intelligent class of men, martial class, mercantile class, and a laborer class. When they are regulated for cooperation among communities according to Vedic principles, then there is peace and spiritual advancement. So when they cooperate, what verse is that? They cooperate together to satisfy Hari. Ata Umbir. Hmm. Yeah, Haritoshanam. So they cooperate. Like we need some workers, we need somebody to guide us, we need somebody to give us food, like that. So there is Vaishyas, there is Brahmanas to give us teachings, and like that. When they are regulated for cooperation among communities, according to Vedic principles, then there is peace and spiritual advancement. But when there is hatred and malpractice and mutual mistrust in the caste system, the whole system becomes degraded, and as stated herein, it creates a deplorable state. At the present moment, the entire world is in this deplorable condition because of giving rights to so many interests. This is due to the degradation of four castes of Varnas and Ashram. Okay. So, of course, we like to be not bound by the rules and regulations. That's how we feel that if I so many rules and this are there, I want to be free from all these rules and regulations. But yeah, we should have freedom. That's there, and that's in many democracies. You have the freedom to pursue happiness the way you want. But if it is in a sinful way, then it is going to create some karma. So, like people like to eat meat, so they have legalized meat eating here and everywhere in the world. So, just because it is made legal and people are eating and they're not being punished, it doesn't mean you can escape the laws of karma. So, that's why Prabhupada wanted those who are in governmental positions, high positions. They wanted to be devotees. They wanted them to be devotees so that they can. But that's very difficult. So, okay, like Bhishma Dev was. Hmm.
Acting on the one line ashram कोटि परत पादकम नाहं विप्रोनाच निर्पति नागेश नक्षत्र. So that is what is it called?
Devi Varnash. Correct. Yes. Hmm. 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 Correct. Yeah, cooperation with Brahmanas guiding everybody and yeah, to satisfy Hari. So right now also there is cooperation, right? I mean, when we need some plumbing work to be done, we call the plumber, and of course we have to pay them. Now money is basically the thing that binds everything. So cooperation is there because you have money, but they have also skill set to do the work. So if you have some plumbing work to be done, then you call plumber. I mean, it's like Prabhupada says there is Varnashram today also, but in a different way, in a degraded form. But there is a martial class, there is an army of the country, and there is also the worker class like that. So it can't be changed. But yeah, Varnashram, Devi Varnashram, that's the thing. Okay, so next verse. So now Prabhupada will talk more about Varnashram. If you give up all the thought, but sometimes it is said in this age it is very difficult to establish Varnashram. So only Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam Kalau Nasti Vanasti. Although Prabhupada wanted to establish Varnashram, but in its true form, Varnashram is very difficult to establish. For that, you need Kshatriya rulers and very so difficult. So Harinam only works. If you demon craze. Yeah, it's like Anta Yathande Rupanima. Because people, yeah, they, I mean, people have not understood like what is scriptures and what is sinful, and so they, according to their sense gratification, whatever the leaders promise them some sense gratification, and then they will elect a leader like that. So, if Krishna consciousness spreads, then most of the people will become devotees. Then they will want to have devotee as their leader. So that's why, yeah, we need to spread this by distributing Srila Prabhupada's books and things like that. So because the scientific division of four varnas and four, okay, if you gave up all the thought of the world situation, unrighteousness would flourish. For men who hanker only after money would be unopposed. Such miscreants would attack and the world would perish. He's saying if you neglect to do your duty, then what will happen? The world will be in chaos. Because the scientific division of four varnas and four ashrams is now being extinguished, the entire world is being governed by unwanted men who have no training in religion, politics, or social order. And it is very deplorable condition. Of course, you can say the leaders are religious. They also go to the temple and the church and everything. But that's not like religion. Religion means to actually understand, the purpose of life. It's not a set of rituals to be done to just fulfill my material motives. That's and you don't have any understanding of why we are here, what is the purpose of life. So many people are religious, they are afraid that we should do some religious activities, otherwise we will be punished by God or something. So out of fear, out of material desires, but real religion means to uh, understand our relationship with God and why I'm suffering in this world. So hmm, yeah, and then we do so many things also which we justify in the name of, like they are doing so much slaughter of animals, and in the name of religion, so many things there people have made up so many things. Like when Jad Bharat was caught, then they were to sacrifice. They were thinking they are very religious. Like in the Nityan Prabhu's pastime, also they were saying, the thieves were saying, "Oh, we didn't worship goddess Chandi properly. That's why we were unsuccessful in robbing Nityananda Prabhu." So sometimes religion, without proper understanding, like if you don't have parampara understanding, then it just becomes a mere ritual, and you may be doing, you don't know whether you're doing the right thing or not, and it just goes on, and then you in your mind think that you're very religious, but you're doing all sinful activities. So that's also correct. That's the statement. Yes. Religion without philosophical understanding of the Shastra and like that. Sentimentalism, or in the extreme, it becomes fa- terrorism or fanaticism. Yeah, fanaticism. Nice. So, religion plus ignorance is terrorism or fanaticism. Right? So, and that's why many people don't like this religion, because so much fighting is going on in the name of religion, and the terrorists are blowing up so many things in the name of religion. So they're killing each other, and so we don't want to do anything with this religion. So in the institution of four varnas and four ashramas, there are regular training principles for the different classes of men. Just as in the modern age, there is a necessity for engineers, medical practitioners, and electricians, and they are properly trained in different scientific institutions. Similarly, in former times, the higher social orders, namely the intelligent class, ruling class, mercantile class, were properly trained. Bhagavad Gita describes the duties of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras. When there is no such training, one simply claims that because he is born in a Brahmana or Kshatriya family, he is therefore a Brahmana or Kshatriya, even though he performs the duties of Shudra. So everything requires training, right? I mean, so that's why there was Gurukul, and they used to go there. Now there is no training really uh, for the mass of people in spiritual, you know, education and controlling the mind and the senses. So that's the problem. Only training on how to uh, earn more money and how to become like successful materially. So such undue claims due to being a higher caste man makes the system of scientific social orders into a caste system, completely degrading the original system. Thus, society is now in chaos, and there is neither peace nor prosperity. It is clearly stated herein that unless there is the vigilance of strong king, impious, unqualified man will claim certain status in society, and that will make the social order perish. Yeah, so that also Arjuna also had this fear that Varna Shankara will happen, there will be nobody to protect, unwanted children will have come, and there will be chaos in the society. Okay, so in spite of all this, I ask you, O valiant king, the purpose for which you have come here, whatever it may be, we shall carry it out without reservation. So Kardam Muni is asking Swayambhu Manu, why have you come here? Although Kardam Muni knows, he's already been told by Vishnu that he will come and he will marry his daughter. When a guest comes to a friend's house, it is understood that there is some special purpose. Kardam Muni could understand that such a great king as Swayambhuva, although traveling to inspect the condition of his kingdom, must have had some special purpose to come to his hermitage. Thus he prepared himself to fulfill the king's desire. Formerly it was customary that sages used to go to the kings and the kings used to visit the sages in their hermitages. Each was glad to fulfill the other's purpose. Like we know how Vishwamitra Muni went to King Dashrath because he wanted a purpose. He has to kill the demons to fulfill the purpose. Similarly, the kings may go to the sages when they need guidance or something like that. This reciprocal relationship is called Bhakti Karya. There is a nice verse describing the relationship of mutual beneficial interest between the Brahmana and Kshatriya. Kshatram Dvijatvam. Kshatram means the royal order and Dvijatvam means the Brahminical order. So, like in Varnashram also, the Grihasthas are meant to support the other ashrams. And for whatever Grihastha provides to the sannyasi provides transcendental knowledge. The Grihastha may give some charity of grains and some alms to the sannyasi, and the sannyasi in turn gives transcendental knowledge. So, in this way, there is cooperation, and because they don't have money, sannyasis, because they're not earning. So, Grihasthas are meant to support all the other three ashrams because they don't. So, like that. The two were meant for mutual interest. The royal order would give protection to the Brahmanas and the cultivation of spiritual advancement for the cultivation of spiritual advancement in society. And the Brahmanas would give their valuable instruction to the royal order on how the state and the citizens can gradually be elevated in spiritual perfection. Okay, we can stop there. So, marriage of Kardama. Next. Should we hear or read or what? your Prabhupada class also. Hmm? Radharani song. The hearing part or the reading part? The Hear the Brahmar Geet from. Okay.